So let's face it, working from home can be super challenging. There are so many distractions. As an entrepreneur or someone that works from home, we have to become super efficient with managing our time. But it's so easy to get caught up in the traps of, let me throw this load of laundry in the wash real quick. Let me go ahead and prep dinner. And while I'm at it, I may as well go ahead and knock these dishes out. And oh shoot, let me let Baxter out for the 10th time today. And the list goes on and on. How many times have we had great intentions for a day and we're like, we're totally gonna knock this out. We're gonna get so much more done today. And I'm not just gonna waste time running around feeling like a chicken with its head cut off. And before we know it, a day has gone by and we've got absolutely nothing done in our business. To say that there's an adjustment phase to working from home is definitely putting it lightly. So I'm gonna give you some tangible tips to implement today to become more productive and getting all the things done that you need to be getting done when working from home. And if this is the first time we're meeting virtually, my name is Shamecca Stevens, and I help entrepreneurs show up online and grow their business by using video content and how to implement simple strategies for not burning yourself out and keeping balance in your business. So one of the hardest things about working from home is learning how to not let all of the daily distractions of your home derail your entire day. As entrepreneurs or anyone that works from home, we tend to think and feel like we don't need structure in our day-to-day business or in our day-to-day routines. Like, isn't that the whole reason we're working from home now or starting our own business? And the answer to that question is yes, and yes, it is. But the most important part of us being our own boss is that we learn how to hold ourselves accountable and get things done in a timely fashion. If we don't get things done in a timely fashion, then we end up getting super behind on our goals and in our business and on our jobs. And it just sets off this whole domino effect that derails our entire day. So before I jump into sharing my tips and tweaks I've personally made, I want to definitely preface this with, you've got to find out what works best for you and your body personally. There's no magic tip or potion that I can suggest to you today that's going to make you say, that's it. That's exactly what I need to do. Go to bed at 10 p.m. every night, take this little sleep tincture, and I'm going to be golden. That is just not the case. That is not going to work for every single person, because we are all individually made and made up of differently and have, genetically different things going on. We're on different medications for different things that we have to deal with in our life. And so that is going to basically change your body chemistry versus my body chemistry. So you have got to do the homework on this thing. You've got to learn your body and accept what does work for you and what truly doesn't work for you. So with that being said, here are a few suggestions I have personally found for myself that have created helpful daily habits and have helped me set up my days for success and to be a lot more productive during my work days, especially while working from home. The first thing I had to do was, yep, you probably guessed it, I had to get some daily structure set in. And so one of the things I had to do was set up a solid morning routine. And that means I wake up at 8 a.m. I'm one of those people that I like to be able to wake up, take my time waking up and getting, all the the juices flowing and getting going. I don't want to feel like I'm rushed to get up, get my coffee made, and hurry up, get in the shower, and hurry up and get your hair done, get your makeup done. Like, if I do that, that sets me off in a whole tensy and I'm just flustered for the day, and it just does not work out good. So I know I need to kind of take it easy getting started in the mornings and not rush myself, just, kind of get going slow and methodical. And so one of the ways I absolutely love, opening up my morning and starting my day off is getting my coffee going. Always go and make my coffee, and then I like to just have my coffee while reading and digging into scripture and just taking that moment to get kind of anchored and set in with God and just have my God time, because that is so critically important to a portion of my day kind of getting started off on the right foot and just getting off to a good start. And so that's why I have that between 8 and 11. That time is, basically designed for me to wake up, get coffee going, have my God time, and then get a shower, get my makeup on and get my clothes on, and then get ready to film. And so, if your business allows for this, I would highly suggest you to choose the best time that you are work at your most optimal and you're at your most sharpest mentally and physically, because it does take, like, sometimes during the day we've got to think through, like detailed processes or a little bit more complicated or complex situations or processes, and we really need to be at our best, mentally, to be the most productive. And so definitely define out those hours. For me, that's between the hours of 11 to 4. I know that that's when I'm going to be my sharpest mentally. I'm going to feel my best physically, and I'm going to be willing and ready to take on the day. Otherwise, I'm dragging and it's just a hot mess. And that's one of the things I had to personally figure out with dealing with MS. It's an autoimmune disease. A lot of you know I suffer with that. And I had to get really dialed in on what's going to work for me and my body. And I had tried all these other different things and regiments and ideas that people had for sleeping and just all the things. And it was like, that's not working for me, or this is somewhat working, but not all the way. And I may need to tweak this or take a little bit more melatonin. And, and so I had to really figure that out. And so like I said, I stress for you to really drill down and figure that out. And you need to track it week to week, like make notes each morning after you woken up. Like, how do I feel this morning? How does my body feel? Do I feel foggy? Do I feel less foggy? Do I feel more clear? I mean, these are all things that you're going to have to take into account to know what worked and what didn't work, and take those things off that did not work for you. And so, if you're able to, like I said, set up a clock in, like the hours of operation that you're going to work. So, like I said, mine are 11 to 4. If you're able to do that, definitely do that. So, my clock in time is at 11 a.m. And now this is where, like, I had to get really real with myself and admit that I was, trying to force a square peg in a round hole, so to speak. Everybody would tell you, oh, join the 5 o'clock club, join the 5 o'clock club. And I'm like, yeah, like for me, 5 a.m. is not going to be my best, because like I'm pissed off that I'm up at that time. And I don't know why I'm up at this time, because I can't even think right. And so I'm not going to get anything done, because I'm just going to sit and be ticked off because I'm up and I don't want to be up, and, all of that. So you've got to make sure that you really dial in what's going to work best for you and your situation. The next tip that I will tell you is going to be make your bed every single morning. Yep. I know it seems really simple and like, really, that make my bed every single morning? Yeah, it is, because it gives you such a feeling of accomplishment, and this helps you to get your first win under your belt. It's an easy win of the day. And I feel like we have to go through our day chasing all the little wins. So I treat them like little gold coin wins, like Mario Brothers, if you will. Like the gold coins. I'm going through the day trying to get my little gold coins, collect them up, because it gives me more energy. I'm like, okay, I've got my bed made. It looks all nice and pretty and fresh. And, and it just inspires me. And then, of course, I'm not going to want to lay back down and take a nap later on in the day, because my bed's all made and it's all pretty. So I do highly suggest that. I know it seems simple and stupid and just like, yeah, really? Okay. But it will make a difference, I promise you. And it will help you get start attacking the rest of your day and accomplishing all the rest of the to-dos on your list. And then the next thing, get out of your pajamas. You've got to take a shower and get your makeup on and fix your hair. Whatever you would normally do if you were going to go into work and work a traditional job, that's what I would definitely be sure you're doing at home. And you're creating that same type of daily routine and vibe and environment in your home. This will help you to get in the mindset of working and creating separation between both your home space and your workspace. And that's one of the hardest things that we deal with when you work from home, is you are feeling like you're constantly always looking at, all of your equipment or your workspace or your desk and whatnot. It's like it's always there, But one of the things is definitely setting up different rituals and things that you do at each part of your day, and really start to create separation between your work area and your home life, because you do kind of need to draw that line and have that space there, just so you don't feel like you're constantly always thinking about work and you never really truly clock out. That is one of the harder things. When I know my husband, he had to come, had to work from home for a period of time, like full time, and now he's back to doing like 3 days at home, and
and then 2 in the actual office. And he was like, man, I just feel like with the computer sitting on the kitchen table, it's just like it's always there. It's always staring at me. Like that's my work, you know? And normally that would have all just been left at work and you clock out and come home and you're good to go. Well, he had to figure out, okay, look, when all that's said and done, I got to have a routine. If it's covering up everything with just a cloth, whatever. If you don't have like a designated room that you can set up in, just set up a space and, you know, cover it up or do some kind of clock out routine that you know, and it signals to your brain, okay, it's time to clock out and I'm good to go. However, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but anyways, that, like I said, that's just going to help with creating that work-life balance and that separation between work and home. So if you stay in your pajamas and stay in comfy type clothes, it will actually make you more slower and sluggish feeling and not as sharp throughout the day, because your brain's like, oh, this is what we do in the afternoons, and we get in our comfy pajamas and our comfy clothes, and you know, so we don't have to do anything right now. And so that's a behavior that your body has built in over time. And so you definitely don't want to stay in those comfy clothes, because like I said, it's just going to make you more sluggish and not as productive, because of the way your brain interprets and thinks about those types of clothes when you're generally wearing them. And of course, getting ready and, you know, getting your makeup on, getting your hair done, getting a shower, getting on regular work clothes, it's going to make you feel more motivated and keep you moving throughout your day. And the next tip I want to give you is to create an inspiring workspace for yourself. Set up a designated working area for yourself. Like when you sit down at this area, it should be the same effect and feeling of when you were sitting down at your desk in your actual office that you worked and went into every single day. That lets your brain know, okay, I'm at work. I need to get my thinking cap on. I need to kind of get in the mindset of working. So you want to make your space happy and a functional place. You can add decorations and decor and signs in that make it feel more inspirational and inspiring of a place for you to work. So if you find like different little signage and little cute little sayings that you can put on your desk or put on your wall and do that, it's going to definitely make a difference in your mental clarity and your excitement to work and to get the day going and get the day started. Another tip that I will suggest is to definitely use candles and turn on a diffuser. One of the things that I love to do is to light a candle and really just enjoy the flicker of the little candle, the nice little glow. And then also, if I'm feeling a little anxious, I am a big supporter of aromatherapy. So I have a diffuser that I will set up and, you know, just get that all going and working for me, and mix blends of oils together that's going to, you know, help calm me down or put me in a more relaxed state, or, you know, awaken me a little bit. And those are all little tweaks and things that I do that just are going to make it really nice. And also another thing I would consider doing is adding in a few items that are going to make working from home in your niche easier. So like example, a laptop stand, cell phone holders, microphones, whatever you need for, you know, working from home. Everybody's situation is going to be a little different. So you're going to kind of have to look at that on an individual basis. But it is important in the grand scheme of things. It's all the small little things, but the devil is in the details. So whatever it is that's going to make working from home a lot easier for you, I would do that, because whenever we start to create resistance, we start getting frustrated, and then we're like, nothing's working and it's ticking me off. And then you're not in a good place mentally to work. I mean, nothing's going to go good from there, right? And so set up a hydration station also. You want to be sure that your body is getting enough water every single day. I think like 3/4 of our body is made up of water. And that's really important. Water helps us, our brain function better. And not only that, it helps your skin, which is also important, but it also hydrates your body, which is also important. And just a good rule of thumb to know, or think about how much water you should personally, you know, be taking in for your body, is to take your weight and divide it by 2. And that would be the ounces that you need to take in daily for your body and weight. So definitely do that. I think that's super important. Now, I am not the world's best at getting my water in daily, but I am trying to make it more of a thing that I'm focused on. So I do have like a little hydration station, is what I call it. It's basically a little water cart. And so I'm like, Oh, here we go. You want to just have that because at work, you would probably go to the break room, to the water cooler, fill up your water cup, and then go back to your desk and drink your water. So you want to kind of have those types of stations set up throughout your home as well because you're working from home and this is your job, your business. So it's just going to keep you, more in the mindset of working throughout the day. And then also make sure you have the internet speed and connection speed that you need for your internet to do your job and to do your daily business. If you don't, that's going to frustrate you and you're going to start having technical issues. And then those become like domino effects as well. And then you're like, I can't get nothing to upload, or I can't get on this call, or I can't get this Zoom to work, or what have you. So just be sure that you have all of the internet speed and capabilities that you need to personally have. And if you don't, I would definitely reach out to your internet provider to make sure that you can get that set up and get that going so that you're not, working against the grain here. And then next, I would minimize distractions. For me, that means the kitchen needs to be clean and no dishes in the sink or on the island. That distracts me and drives me crazy. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I am going to take my quick break, it's going to frustrate me because I'm like, oh, let me wash these dishes real quick. Let me go ahead and throw this load of laundry in. And then I start getting, derailed there. And so I'm like, okay, I have to know mentally at the end of my workday, like after I've clocked out from work, I need to be sure that after dinner, I wash the dishes, I wipe the island off, I do all of those things that are going to I'm going to walk through the house the next day and see. And then it's going to make me feel like, oh, I need to go ahead and do those now. And I'm not going to want to wait because if it's there, it's like it's mental clutter for me and it clutters my brain and then I can't think. And then that falls on over into my daily routine. So I would highly suggest to get all of those things squared away the night before your work day or at the end of after you're done eating and dinner and all of that, you're getting the kitchen put back together or whatever areas are generally your hangups that are going to derail you. And so also take a designated lunch break and I actually mean get up from your computer or your desk, wherever your workstation is, and actually go and eat something, 15 to 20 minutes. I like to go ahead and prep my stuff. So like generally have a salad each day for my lunch. And it just makes it a lot easier if I go ahead and have the lettuce cut up and I have the cabbage, the purple cabbage cut up. And then I also have my Parmesan already grated off and all that fun stuff. And so that way, all I'm having to do is just grab and throw it and, on my bowl, add my salad dressing and croutons, and I'm ready to go. I've got lunch done. And then after that, I go and take a 10 to 15-minute walk outside because it's basically going to help to refresh you. And connecting with nature is one of those things is it calms us and it calms our bodies, and I'm not saying you got to be out in the middle of, like a park hiking or anything, but if you do live to a park that's close and, easy to access, then I wouldn't see anything wrong with it because if you were at work, you would probably go walk outside, walk around the perimeter of the building for, 10 or 15 minutes. And that's just going to basically re-energize you, re-wake up your brain, and you've got your food going and all of that fun stuff. So that's all working together and helping you out. So definitely just take a quick 10 to 15-minute walk outside. You're also getting vitamin D, which is super important and keeps us happy as well and gives us a little bit of energy. So it will definitely help to refresh you and get you out of the house and also help you to, come back to your work refreshed and ready to start. And so after you've gotten through your day, you're like, okay, I'm finally through the day. Now what do I need to do? You need to set up a clock out time. So mine is going to be at 5 p.m. And so from 4 to 5, it does not take me this long to, basically do my whole clock out routine, but I've got it from 4 to 5. So that way I have time to break down the backdrop holder. I have time to fold up the backdrop the green screen, or if I'm actually using a physical backdrop, I can get that folded up and put away. And then at that point, I can then start cleaning up my desk and moving papers out of the way and throwing those away, that like pieces of paper that have collected on my desk throughout the day. If I'm finished using them, throw them away. If I need to file them, find somewhere to file them for temporarily, then throw them away. But you want to remove clutter you've accumulated throughout the day while working to get things back in order for your next working day. Okay. So that is super important. And then on the last 30 minutes of that time frame, I'm just going to sit quietly and reflect on what I got done today and make a list of the 3 most important things that I need to get done and accomplish tomorrow. And so if there was, say, something, I've got 1 out of the 3 things done today, then those other 2 things are going to be the top 2 of the 3 list for tomorrow, because I know that that's going to keep me super focused and getting it done on, getting that done the next day if it didn't get done all today. So you want to be very strategic, and you don't really want to have no more than 3 important things that you're doing, because when you create a list like of 6 things or 10 things or 20 things, then you start feeling overwhelmed. Your brain starts to feel overwhelmed. And so we just need to keep it in bite-sized chunks. Okay. And you just want to chunk that out at 1 chunk at a time as you're working. So that's why I say just take those last 30 minutes of your workday, sit down, make the time to write it out, be clear, because that was also the other thing that would get me is I would say, oh, I'll remember that. I don't need to write that down. And then tomorrow comes and I'm like, what did I do here? What did I say here? What edit needed to be done? And I'm then trying to remember all of the stuff from yesterday. And then that's just a hot mess express. And as we get older, our brains just don't stay as sharp. And so we need to definitely use like the Post-it notes or our planners or a notebook or whatever, even a piece of paper, just write it down, write out your thought process, be very clear on exactly what you need to do. And so the next thing we need to do is to set up our wind down time. So for me, my wind down time is between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. I know it's a lot. It's got to happen between 6 and 10 p.m. By 6 o'clock, I have clocked out completely, mentally, physically, all of it. It's all done. And then we're getting dinner, going, or it's already been started from the 5:30 hour. And by 6:30, I'm eating. And then by 7, I'm sitting in my comfy clothes, my pajamas, all my makeup's been taken off, and I'm ready to just kind of relax and just chill and veg out. Okay. Because and the way I do that is I'm going to watch some kind of true crime serial killer show or something, and it's just mindless TV that we're watching, and we're able to just mentally, physically, and everything just clock out from work and not think about work and just be present at home and in the moment with our loved ones and watching a show that we all enjoy and all of that fun stuff. So you definitely want to have that time that you're just winding down, you're turning the lights down. So about 8 p.m., 8:30, I turn my little lamp out that sits beside me on the couch. I turn that off, and I turn all the other lights off in the living room. So I start to I only keep like 1 light on, and it's generally my husband's on his side of the couch, and it just creates this low glow, and it just kind of starts to calm you and get you, just calming on down and winding down and getting ready for going to bed. And so that brings us to your bedtime routine. And so you want to be sure about 30 minutes before you want to actually go to sleep, you want to take any evening meds or tinctures that you have to take. You want to go ahead and get those taken and started, because that's going to start working. So like the last 30 minutes of my wind down time is kind of like the last 30 minutes before I lay down for bed. And I'm going to go ahead and take any medicines, tinctures, all of those things, so they can go ahead and start working before I get in bed. And then another really cool thing that I like to do is read from an actual book for at least 10 to 15 minutes. And I do mean like an actual physical book, and you don't want to use like a device or your phone or an iPad or anything like that, because of the device lighting on it. It does not help us. It actually wakes up our brain and it sends mixed signals to the brain. And there's been so many studies and things like that, that they've done over the years about cell phone light, blue light, and all of that, of the, basically the toll it takes on our body. So you want to just be sure that you're not looking at a screen, you're looking at an actual book. And I'm only going to read about 10 to 15 minutes out of that book, and just something that I can kind of just, go ahead, and it just relaxes me even more. And then I'm starting to feel a little groggy, because generally my melatonin or my sleep tincture has, is starting to take effect. And so, like I said, I know that I'm not going to get past 10 to 15 minutes. And if I do, I'm not going to remember any part of it. and so the next thing is, after you've completely laid down and you finish doing your reading, or, whatever it is that you're going to do, You don't want to look at your cell phone after you've laid down. You may have to actually leave your cell phone in another room so that you're not tempted to jump on Facebook or check your emails and just get into that whole scroll hole of whatever other mindless things that we end up doing when we can't sleep, because we feel like, oh, I can't sleep. Let me just check Facebook and scroll through Facebook and see what's going on. Let me check my email, see if anything came in interesting. Let me do this. And then before you know it, you're up another hour just scrolling and looking at your phone. And then your brain's confused on, okay, what the heck is going on? I thought we were going to sleep. We're not going to sleep. And also, by not having your cell phone in the same room, it forces you to think and focus on going to sleep, which is what we need to be doing. And so that is super important as far as, just getting to sleep and getting that whole process underway. You may also consider having a box fan like myself. I absolutely love a box fan, y'all. And I found like the best box fan of all box fans. And it's like a little bit bigger, and it throws out, I think, like 20% more wind. And I absolutely love a box fan for these two reasons. One, the sound it throws off is going to help me to sleep. It helps me to sleep. But two, it also gives this cool little breeze that blows on my face, and it makes me feel like I'm at the beach while I'm sleeping. And so I literally call it the breeze. And I told Chris, I said, like, whenever I end up in the retirement home or wherever I end, you're going to have to be sure people understand what the breeze is. Like, they're going to have to turn the breeze on. So it may be like something like that, that you find that, hey, this really does help me, and I really like how this feels, or it seems and feels like I'm at the beach when listening to the waves. If I were to, if you were to be at the beach, and how you can sleep with the doors or the window open and you can hear the beach in the background. That's kind of the same effect for me with my box fan. So I highly suggest a box fan if you haven't tried it, and if like that sound doesn't bother you. If it's distracting to you, then it won't be helpful. But for me, it's been like the best part of my night and my sleep routine. Now, I know I didn't share any groundbreaking or revolutionary tips here, but y'all, there is money in the mundane, and I truly do mean that. I challenge you to try this for 1 week and see if your focus, concentration, and productivity aren't drastically better. So comment below what tip or realization or idea you may have gotten just from listening to this video about some of the things that I do and that I have implemented. And also comment some of the things that you do. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear some of your daily productivity things that you do for working from home to make your productivity better and to make your process better. And as always, until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.